Hello, everyone. Today we're going to learn another 10 common idioms, phrases, and sentences that native English speakers use every single day. These expressions are super useful, and I promise by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what these expressions mean and how to use them naturally in your own conversations. Here's how you can get the most out of this video. First, listen while reading the subtitles. This will help you catch every word and follow along more easily. Then, play the video again and try to repeat the sentences out loud, but this time without reading the subtitles. This will really help you improve your pronunciation, listening, and speaking skills. Don't forget to pause and write down any new expressions you like. That way, you can remember and review them later. This is a great way to boost your listening, reading, and speaking, all at the same time. This lesson is a fun and simple way to improve your English step by step. Before we dive in, if you're finding this helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe. It helps a ton, and I really appreciate your support. All right, let's get started with our first expression. Number 1, I'm famished. This expression means you're extremely hungry, not just a little bit hungry, but really, really hungry. It's like when you haven't eaten anything for hours, and you feel like you could eat everything in sight. Native speakers use this all the time instead of just saying, I'm hungry, because it shows just how hungry they really are. The word famished comes from an old word that means starving or suffering from hunger. It's a bit dramatic, but that's exactly why we love using it. It makes our feelings sound more intense and interesting. Let me tell you about my friend Sarah. Last week, she was so busy at work that she completely forgot to eat lunch. When she finally got home at 7 in the evening, she called me and said, "Oh my gosh, I'm famished. I could eat a horse." That's exactly how native speakers use this expression when they want to emphasize how incredibly hungry they are. For example, you might say, I'm famished, let's grab some food right now. You might hear something like, after that 5-hour hike, we were all famished. Here's another one. I skipped breakfast this morning, so I'm absolutely famished. The great thing about this expression is that it sounds more natural and interesting than just saying, I'm hungry. It shows you really understand how English speakers express their feelings. Have you ever been so hungry that you felt famished? Let me know in the comments. Number 2, you are smitten. This phrase means you have fallen deeply in love with someone, or you're completely attracted to and fascinated by someone. When you're smitten, you can't stop thinking about that person, and you get butterflies in your stomach when you see them. It's that wonderful, exciting feeling when you really like someone special. The word smitten actually comes from the past tense of smite, which means to be struck or hit. So when you're smitten, it's like love has hit you like lightning. Isn't that romantic? I remember when my cousin Jake met his now-wife Emma at a coffee shop. He came to family dinner the next day with the biggest smile on his face, talking about this amazing girl he met. My aunt looked at him and said, "Oh wow, you are completely smitten, aren't you?" And she was right. Jake couldn't stop talking about Emma, and now they've been married for 3 years. For example, you might say, look at Tom staring at that girl, he's totally smitten. People often say, ever since she met her new boyfriend, she's been absolutely smitten. Let's take this one. I can tell by the way he talks about her that he's smitten. This is such a sweet expression to use when you want to describe someone who's fallen in love. It sounds much more romantic and interesting than just saying someone likes someone. Do you think you've ever been smitten with someone? Share your story in the comments. Number 3, easy peasy. This phrase means something is extremely easy to do, so simple that even a child could do it without any problems. When something is easy peasy, there's no challenge at all. It's like the easiest thing in the world. Native speakers love this expression because it sounds playful and fun. This phrase actually comes from a longer saying, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Some people think it started as an advertising slogan for lemon dish soap many years ago, but now we just say easy peasy to mean super easy. The rhyming sound makes it catchy and fun to say. My little nephew Alex was learning to tie his shoes last month. His mom was worried it would be difficult for him, but after I showed him my special trick, he got it right away. He looked up at me with a big smile and said, "Aunt Jenny, that was easy peasy." It was so cute how proud he was of himself. You might hear something like, "Don't worry about the math homework, it's easy peasy." For example, someone might say, "Cooking pasta is easy peasy, just boil water and add the noodles." Here's another one. Once you learn the steps, riding a bike is easy peasy. I love how this expression makes difficult things sound less scary. Instead of saying something is just easy, saying it's easy peasy makes it sound almost fun to do. What's something that you thought would be hard but turned out to be easy peasy? Tell me about it in the comments. Number 4. What's the catch? This expression is actually a question that people ask when something seems too good to be true. When someone offers you something amazing for free or at a really low price, you might wonder if there's a hidden problem or condition. What's the catch? Means, what's the problem I don't know about? Or, what do I have to do in return? This expression comes from fishing. When you catch a fish, sometimes it looks perfect, but then you discover it has a hook in its mouth, or it's not the kind of fish you thought it was. So, the catch became a way to talk about hidden problems or conditions that you don't see at first. My friend Maria told me about this last week. She saw an advertisement for a brand new smartphone for only $50. That's an amazing price. But Maria is smart, so she asked, "What's the catch?" When she read the fine print, she discovered you had to sign a 2-year contract and pay high monthly fees. The catch was that the cheap phone would actually cost her much more money in the long run. People often say, "This deal sounds amazing, but what's the catch?" For example, you might ask, "They're giving away free concert tickets, what's the catch?" Imagine this. "My boss offered me extra vacation days, but I'm wondering what's the catch." This is such a useful expression because it helps you be careful and smart when someone offers you something that seems too perfect. It shows you're thinking carefully and not just accepting everything without question. Have you ever asked, "What's the catch?" and discovered there really was a hidden problem? Share your experience in the comments. Number 5, I feel lousy. This phrase means you feel sick, unwell, or just generally bad. When you feel lousy, you might have a headache, stomach ache, or you might just feel tired and weak. It's not necessarily a serious illness, but you definitely don't feel good. Native speakers use this all the time instead of saying, "I feel sick," because it describes that uncomfortable, yucky feeling perfectly. The word lousy originally meant full of lice, which are tiny insects that make you itchy and uncomfortable. Over time, people started using lousy to describe anything that makes you feel bad or uncomfortable. So when you feel lousy, you feel as uncomfortable as if you had bugs crawling on you. Yesterday, my coworker David came to work looking really tired and pale. When I asked him how he was feeling, he said, "Honestly, I feel really lousy today. I think I'm getting a cold." He ended up going home early to rest. That's exactly how we use this expression when we're not feeling well, but we're not sure exactly what's wrong. You might hear something like, I felt lousy all morning, but I'm feeling better now. For example, someone might say, after eating that spicy food last night, I woke up feeling lousy. Here's another one. I feel lousy today. I think I need to drink more water and get some rest. This expression is perfect for those days when you just don't feel right, but you can't put your finger on exactly what's wrong. It's more descriptive than just saying, I feel bad, and native speakers will understand exactly what you mean. Do you have any home remedies for when you feel lousy? Let me know in the comments. Number 6. What a small world. This expression is something people say when they discover an unexpected connection with someone they just met. Maybe you find out that you went to the same school, know the same person, or lived in the same city. It's that amazing coincidence that makes the world feel smaller than it really is. We use this expression because the world is actually huge, with billions of people. But sometimes it feels small when you keep running into connections everywhere you go. It's like the universe is playing a fun game of connecting people in surprising ways. This happened to me just last month. I was at a coffee shop in a completely different city, and I started talking to the woman next to me in line. We got to chatting, and it turned out that she used to work with my sister at a company in New York 5 years ago. I couldn't believe it. I said, "What a small world. My sister is going to be so excited to hear I met you." We ended up having coffee together and sharing stories about my sister. People often say, I can't believe we have mutual friends, what a small world. For example, you might say, you're from my hometown too, what a small world. Let's take this one. We went to the same university and never met until now, what a small world. This expression always makes people smile because it celebrates those magical moments when life surprises us with unexpected connections. It makes strangers feel like friends right away. Have you ever had one of those, what a small world moments? I'd love to hear your story in the comments. Number 7. I moved around a lot. This expression means someone has changed homes or locations many times during their life. Maybe their family moved to different cities when they were young, or they chose to live in many different places as an adult. When someone says this, they're explaining that they don't have just one hometown or one place they've always lived. People say this when they want to explain why they might not have deep roots in one place, or why they're comfortable adapting to new environments. It's often said when someone asks, "Where are you from?" And the answer is complicated because they've lived in so many places. My friend Carlos always says this when people ask about his background. His dad was in the military, so his family moved to a new city every 2 or 3 years when he was growing up. He lived in California, Texas, Germany, and Florida all before he turned 18. When people ask where he's from, Carlos says, well, I moved around a lot as a kid, so I don't really have one hometown. He says it made him really good at making new friends and trying new foods. You might hear something like, I moved around a lot during my 20s, so I've lived in 6 different states. For example, someone might say, we moved around a lot when I was little because of my mom's job. Here's another one. I moved around a lot after college, trying to find the right place to settle down. This expression helps explain a lifestyle that many people have today. It shows that not everyone grows up in one place their whole life, and that's perfectly normal. Some people love moving around, and others prefer to stay in one place. If you've moved around a lot, you know it can be both exciting and challenging. Have you moved around a lot, or have you always lived in the same place? Tell me about your experience in the comments. Number 8. Give it to me straight. This expression means tell me the truth directly without hiding anything or making it sound better than it is. When you ask someone to give it to you straight, you want them to be completely honest, even if the truth might be uncomfortable or difficult to hear. You don't want them to sugarcoat it or beat around the bush. This phrase comes from the idea of a straight line being the shortest distance between 2 points. So when you want someone to give it to you straight, you want them to take the most direct route to the truth, without going around in circles or avoiding the real issue. I used this expression just last week with my doctor. I had been having headaches for a while, and I was worried about what might be causing them. When the test results came back, I could tell my doctor was trying to find a gentle way to explain something. I looked at her and said, "Doc, just give it to me straight. What's going on?" She appreciated my directness and explained that I needed to make some changes to my diet and sleep schedule, but nothing was seriously wrong. I was so relieved to get the honest answer. People often say, "I need you to give it to me straight. How bad is it?" You might hear something like, "Give it to me straight. Do you think I have a chance of getting this job?" Imagine this. "I can handle the truth. Just give it to me straight." This expression shows that you're mature enough to handle difficult information and that you value honesty over comfort. It's especially useful in serious situations where you need to make important decisions based on facts, not false hope. When has someone given it to you straight, and how did it help you? Share your experience in the comments. Number 9, here's the thing. This phrase is used to introduce an important point, explanation, or the real truth about a situation. When someone says, "Here's the thing," they're about to tell you something significant that will help you understand the situation better. It's like saying, "Let me explain the most important part," or "This is what you need to know." Native speakers love this expression because it signals that they're about to share the key information or the real story. It's a way to get someone's attention before sharing something important. It makes the conversation feel more personal and direct. My sister used this expression perfectly last weekend when she was telling me about her job interview. She had been going on and on about how well it went, how much she liked the company, and how confident she felt. Then she paused and said, "But here's the thing, they won't know their decision for another month, and I really need a job now." That phrase helped her transition to the real issue she was worried about. For example, you might say, "The restaurant looks great online, but here's the thing, they don't take reservations." You might hear something like, "I know you want to help, but here's the thing, this is something I need to do myself." Let's take this one. "The car is beautiful and affordable, but here's the thing, it has high mileage." This expression is so useful because it helps you organize your thoughts and make sure your listener pays attention to the most important information. It's like a gentle warning that says, "Pay attention, this next part is crucial." How do you usually introduce important information when you're speaking? Have you heard native speakers use "here's the thing" before? Let me know in the comments. Number 10, by the looks of it. This expression means based on what I can see or judging from the appearance of something. When you say "by the looks of it," you're making a conclusion or guess based on visual evidence or obvious signs. It's a way to share your opinion about what's probably true, even if you don't have all the facts yet. People use this expression when they want to make an observation or prediction based on what they can see with their eyes. It's often used when the situation is pretty obvious, even without having complete information. I used this expression yesterday when I was walking past my neighbor's house. There were moving trucks in the driveway, boxes stacked on the porch, and people carrying furniture out of the house. I didn't talk to my neighbor, but when my friend asked me what was happening, I said, "By the looks of it, they're moving out." Sure enough, I found out later that they had sold their house and were relocating to another state. People often say, "By the looks of it, it's going to rain soon," when they see dark clouds in the sky. You might hear something like, "By the looks of it, this restaurant is really popular," when you see a long line of people waiting outside. For example, someone might say, "By the looks of it, the party was a huge success," when they see happy people, empty food plates, and lots of decorations. This expression is great because it shows you can make smart observations and draw logical conclusions from what you see around you. It's a natural way to share your thoughts about what's probably happening without claiming to know everything for certain. What's something you recently observed where you could have said, "By the looks of it"? Share your observation in the comments. Let's recap what we learned today. We covered so many useful expressions today. Let me quickly go through all 10 expressions we learned. We started with "I'm famished" for when you're extremely hungry. Then we learned "you are smitten" for when someone has fallen in love. We talked about "easy peasy" for things that are super simple to do. We learned to ask "what's the catch?" when something seems too good to be true. We discovered "I feel lousy" for when you're not feeling well. We explored "what a small world" for those amazing coincidences when you discover unexpected connections. We learned about "I moved around a lot" for people who have lived in many different places. We covered "give it to me straight" for when you want the honest truth. We talked about "here's the thing" for introducing important information. And finally, we learned "by the looks of it" for making observations based on what you can see. These expressions will make your English sound so much more natural and native-like. The best way to remember them is to use them. Try to use at least one of these expressions in your conversations this week. If this video helped you learn something new, please hit that like button and subscribe for more English lessons. Come back tomorrow because I'll be sharing 10 more idioms, phrases, and sentences that native speakers use every day. Each video will help you sound more confident and natural when you speak English. Which of these 10 expressions was your favorite today? Which one do you think you'll use first in your own conversations? I love reading your comments and hearing about your English learning journey. Take care and keep practicing your English. Remember, every day you practice, you get a little bit better. I believe in you, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.